Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an all-new reaction and review. Tonight, guys, I'm taking a look at a British comedy, rather a British zombie comedy from 2012. That movie is called Cockneys versus Zombies, and the story behind, or rather the story about how I heard of this movie is kind of interesting, because you see, Kari, who is a friend of mine and is also a friend of the show, she sent in so many movies, and it's really awesome of her. She told me about this one, and she sent me the trailer, and I gave it a watch, and I said, I have to watch this. Like, I gotta watch this, like, right the fuck now. I was hoping to find it on Amazon, just hoping I could just buy it and just have a copy, because the trailer looked that good. I wanted a physical copy. But it's not out in the U.S., so I had to download it, and, well, I have since done that, and I've been sitting on this thing for about 2 weeks now. I've been sort of holding back on, I really should, move it, ahead in the schedule. It's like, no. I've got other worthless shit I have to get through first. I can make this kind of sort of a way of cleansing my palate if it's as good as the trailer promises. So, it's time to see if this thing's any good. I kind of have hopes. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Cockneys versus Zombies. Did I just hear a couple of characters attempt to explain exactly how Cockney fucking, rhyming slang works? And I still don't fucking understand it. This here's like the second or third movie I know, which is trying to explain in some way, shape, or form Cockney, rhyming slang, and I still don't fucking understand it. Okay, so apparently between the time of 28 Days Later and Cockneys versus Zombies, the British apparently have become far, far less polite and cleanly with their zombie rioting apocalypse things. These fucking streets look genuinely trashed. Wow, this movie's already off to a roaring fucking start. I'm loving this. Wow! I guess if there's any way to truly effectively take care of an infant who's been turned into a zombie, it's punk them like a fucking football. That was fucking amazing, dude. Okay, I think that shooting the zombie in the head and then decapitating it with the shovel is a little bit of, overkill. I mean, okay, sure, you want to make doubly certain the fucker's dead, but damn, that just sort of seemed like either a waste of bullets or a waste of effort to cut off the head. Wow, and the makeup effects in these zombies are really fucking good. I just sort of wanted to mention that. They still try to explain Cockney rhyming slang. I still don't fucking get it. What the fuck's so hard about just saying what you want to say instead of some, bullshit, bizarre line of logic that somehow turns Trafalgar into zombies? Oh, God, my head hurts just trying to process that. Wow. So let me see if I understand this. Even during a zombie apocalypse, the zombies are still devoted to their one soccer team and will still devolve into hooliganism and soccer riots even as zombies. You learn something new every goddamn day, guys. That's sort of cool. Alright, guys. It is now official. In this movie, Ray is my favorite fucking character. He kicks so much fucking ass, it is unreal. God damn it, I love this character so fucking much, man. Well, guys, that was Cockneys versus Zombies. Man, that was awesome. Plus, well, the song's pretty good too here, this little closing song they got going here. Oh man. Okay, let's shut that off. Now, it's time to discuss the movie. First of all, I totally understand, guys, that zombie films have been done to fucking death, okay? Everybody, I think, is kind of sort of familiar with that, with that fact, and it takes a lot, I think, for people like me to really appreciate zombie films now because there's so fucking many of them. But I've always had a soft spot for zombie comedies. Why? Because they are taking something and showing exactly how foolish and goofy it is. And this movie shows that in fucking spades. I loved it. Alright, so we have frankly, now I should say that the story is in no way original. I mean, shit, it basically is a fucking zombie movie. You really can't do anything unique or new with zombie films because, well, they've done so fucking many. And frankly, the fact that earlier I referenced 28 Days Later, it sort of means that zombies in fucking England have been done, right along with Shaun of the Dead and a few others. So really just that one element of it really isn't new. The very fact that this thing, on fucking like a lot of zombie movies today, it's going more for the shambling zombies as opposed to the marathon runners. I am more than happy with that. I've always preferred the shambling zombies over the running ones anyway. So it kind of has a positive going in just off that. Now, the story here is that we have a bunch of bank robbers, a bunch of really idiotic bank robbers who are trying to rob a bank, and then the zombie apocalypse happens during their fucking police standoff. And really, that's sort of they're sort of what kicks everything off. And so then they take some hostages, and they're just trying to get to the old folks' home so that way our two main characters can go and save their fucking, granddad Ray. And I'm gonna say this right now, just in terms of characters, Ray is my fucking favorite out of the entire lot, and that's probably because of the actor. Because Ray is played by Alan Ford, who was also in Snatch. He played fucking Bricktop in Snatch, and Brick was my favorite character there too. I think maybe it just has to do with Alan Ford. I just think that maybe the guy is just too fucking amazing for fucking words. Every single movie I've seen him in other words, this and Snatch, I've loved him. The guy knows how to be fucking hilarious and still be able to put on a fucking awesome show with everything which is given. He knows how to act, and actually so does the whole cast. I mean, because we have here a story which, even though it's hackneyed and it's cliched and it's been done, it is still very sharp, it's still very witty, it's still very fun. It has everything that has to be there for a zombie movie, or especially a zombie comedy, to work. So we have that. We have very sharp and very witty dialogue and very funny humor. Top it off, we have awesome acting, which to me, once more, is sort of punctuated by the fact that Alan Ford kind of steals the whole fucking show. So, really, nobody here is a bad actor. Nobody here is turning in a shitty showing. Everybody here is turning in 110%, and that is exactly what you want when you are doing one of these movies. Is you want the cast to actually put up a decent showing. And frankly, just watching this, at least to me, it seemed almost as if the entire cast had a fucking blast working on it, because you can kind of see it in the eyes of the actors as to whether or not they're actually enjoying what they are doing. This thing basically looked as if it was a labor of love by all parties involved. Makeup effects. Now, I do have to sort of break down this one with makeup effects, gore effects, and digital effects, because they are all kind of a mixed bag. Makeup effects, unlike a lot of zombie movies where they will just douse their zombies in like fucking, in just essentially fucking like baby powder to kind of sort of like gray up their skin and smear on a little bit of blood. They do have that. But then there's also zombies where they have their fucking jaw, like, where essentially their jaw is dislocated, so that way then the jaw is, like, sloped down this way, and that is using a fucking rubber rubber, appliance, and it looks really good. And then there are like other zombies who have giant friggin' like chunks of flesh missing, looks really good. Certain ones are drooling blood, again, looks really fucking good. So yeah, makeup effects are awesome in this, at least when it comes to the zombies, and everybody else looks fine, but really the one thing you're looking for in these are the zombie effects, and the zombie effects are awesome. Now for the gore effects. Gore effects are a little bit iffy, because we have certain shots where yeah, where you see zombies like biting into people, and you don't actually see like guts or like viscera, tendons, what have you. Instead, it's just basically like blood exploding as if the person is just a giant bloody fucking like balloon. And then other times you actually will see like guts and tendons and viscera like hanging out of the zombie's mouth after they go and they take a huge bite. So really, gore effects here are kind of sort of a mixed bag, but honestly, most of them are really good, and there's not really a lot that can be said negative about it outside of, well, the whole blood fucking balloon effect on a couple of the zombie bites, especially ones on the like shoulder and neck area. They actually would kind of have a habit of just like bursting out blood, and then you don't really see a whole lot else. Digital effects really are kind of where this movie sort of falters a bit. I say that because instead of doing like squibs, which are just small little fucking explosive, which are just basically little small friggin' like explosive packs you put onto shirts or skin or what have you, and then they just sort of like burst out to make it actually look as if you have been shot. Instead, every single like gunshot hit is done digitally, which oftentimes looks really good. However, then you then have a problem where if someone is, say, shot on the head like right here, and the body then begins to move, you have to then track exactly where that shot is digitally, and they don't really do a good job of tracking it. So basically, if somebody is hit and then they move, the squib is not going to perfectly follow, so it basically looks almost as if they've got like a gunshot wound that's just sort of like jittering slightly. Mind you, you have to really be looking to see that, and since I am reviewing this, I kind of have to look for those sorts of flaws. And if you are looking for them, you are going to see them. However, though, if you just don't give a shit, then probably jittering like bullet holes are not going to bother you too much. However, though, they also have certain elements digitally which look really good. It's just that those are kind of outweighed by the massive amount of jittering fucking bullet holes you see here. And once more, that honestly is not a huge issue, and it certainly is not going to kill the movie unless you're one of those people who personally thinks that a movie is completely ruined by questionable digital effects. But however, everything else here stands up so fucking strong that honestly it just sort of comes off as a bit of an afterthought, at least with me. So yeah, guys, and then everything else in here, lighting and cinematography, are all really good. And if I had to levy any kind of negative to this movie, like a serious negative, it honestly is not even the fault of the movie. Why the fuck isn't this released in the US yet? Or, better question, will this ever be released in the US? Because I'm going to tell you right now, after watching this, I want my Blu-ray of Cockneys vs. Zombies right fucking now. I loved this goddamn movie. So I'm going to politely ask every movie studio out there, if anybody who works for, say, like New Line or Warner Brothers, Lionsgate, I don't care. If you're watching this video, please get American distribution rights for Cockneys vs. Zombies and get it out ASAP. I really want a copy of this. In fact, I kind of want a copy of this, say, yesterday. That is how much I liked this movie. Oops. When it comes to zombie comedies, this thing is probably one of the absolute best I have seen. I would happily rank this thing up there with films such as Fido and Zombieland and Shaun of the Dead. I would happily rank it up amongst every one of those. This movie was absolutely fantastic. In fact, it comes just shy of topping out my all-time favorite zombie comedy, which is Brain Dead. Or, well, in the U.S., we know it better as Dead Alive, but still, Brain Dead's more the international name. That one still stands head and shoulders above all other zombie comedies in my eyes in terms of being awesome. This thing here is a close second. Wow, yeah. So, guys, if you live in the U.S., at least as of this filming, the only option you have is to BitTorrent the movie, or try to import a copy and hope and pray that your player can play Blu-rays from that region, or DVDs from that region if you go for the DVD copy. However, if you don't know if you have a region free player, and if you are impatient like me, you're going to BitTorrent the movie and you're going to fucking adore it. I would highly recommend it. And if you live outside of the U.S. and if you can get your hands on a copy of Cockneys vs. Zombies legally, do it. You fucking owe it to yourself to watch this movie. It is absolutely amazing. In fact, as soon as I'm done filming this, I am almost tempted to watch it again. That is how much I loved this thing. Alright, guys. I personally, right now, I'm just fucking gushing, so I'm going to just cut the video off now, and I'm going to just go about my business and do something else. I'll probably watch this, like, tomorrow, perhaps, now, you know, that I think about it. So, yes, guys, So yeah, guys, with that we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.